Okay, hello everybody. We are going to learn how to make this 3x3 grid today for you to turn in for your first Photoshop project. So of course this project was teaching us about depth of field and about the exposure triangle. So we're going to learn how to crop and then arrange these images and then how to find out the details of the f-stop and the shutter speed so we can include that in the final file as well. So first off, I shot more than what I needed. And then I highlighted in green using the tags feature in the Finder window the pictures that I wanted for this project. So I'm just going to click and I'm going to hold the Command key to select the photos that I've already pre-selected for this project. And you only need 9 of them. And we want to open with Photoshop. And then they're going to load one at a time with the different tabs up here on the top. All 9 photos. Okay, now I shot my pictures in order, so it's the easiest to edit them in order as well. So I'm going to start with the very first one, and then because I shot them in order, all the file numbers are in order. So check that out as well. And the first thing we're going to do is crop. So where is my crop tool? So my crop tool is right here. It's the 4th tool down. Mine was hidden under something else, so make sure that it is the crop tool, or you can use the quick key, which is just a C. And then up at the top, I want to crop mine to make it a 3x3 by 300 dpi grid. So you can see some things are going to get cut off. That is totally fine. Again, this is an activity just to make sure that we understand how the aperture works. So I'm going to line up my grid, getting as much of the photo in as I can, and then I'm going to hit enter to apply that crop to that image. Or I'm going to hit this check mark up here to apply it as well. And it's going to shrink, that's fine, because again, if you look up here, we can see the percentage that that photo is, so we can zoom it all the way into 100% and see that that photo is fine. And then I'm just going to go through and crop each one of these approximately the same way. So I'm just going to scroll through them. Just clicking on to activate, I'm going to scroll it over. I'm just going to go on through. Okay, now I've hit all 9 of my pictures, which is perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. And now what we're going to do is make a new document. So we're going to go up here, go File, New. If it will load, there we go. So File, New, and we want it to be a custom size. So you don't have to click anything. All you have to do is come over here, and we're going to make this 9 inches by 9 inches by 300 dpi. So make sure that this says inches and not pixels or centimeters or picas or anything like that. We want it to say inches. Because it's a square, it doesn't matter what orientation you're doing it in. It's going to be the same way no matter what. And then we're just going to hit create. So there we have our 9 by 9 square, and we can start plugging our photos in. Again, the best way to do this is to have the rulers up. So you can see, if you can't see the rulers, you use Command R, or you can go View and then Rulers to show them. And if you click on using this arrow tool in the middle of the ruler, so not along the side, not over here, not over there, physically the arrow needs to be in the middle of the ruler. You can even see that it changes once it hovers over the ruler. You're going to click and drag it out until you get it to 3 inches, and then again until 6 inches. So these are guidelines. These are going to help us place our photos so they make a perfect 3x3 grid. And then do it the same horizontally as you did vertically. So now our photos are ready to drag and drop in. It does not matter which order you start with. I'm going to start with the first image. And I'm going to expand this as much as I can because I want to drag this up to my untitled document right here. So I'm going to be on the arrow tool. I'm going to hold down the Option key, I'm going to drag it. I'm going to hover over the untitled. I'm going to drag it down and then I'm going to drop it. If you drop it anywhere else, it will not work. And because I've already pre-cropped it, it will fit perfectly in this square right here. Now I'm just going to go through all of these. So this is my second one. And again, doing these in order keeps you organized. So I'm just going to go through all of these one at a time. So that was my second one. Now I'm going to my third one. Option key, drag it, and then drop it. Now my fourth picture, 1, 2, 3, 4. Drag it, drop it, place it. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Option key, drag it, drop it. Boom. 6. Option key, drag it, drop it. Now this can get tricky because if you don't do these things in order, again, all these photos look pretty identical. So it will get kind of messy and all over the place if you don't do things exactly in the right order. So please make sure that you are organized and methodical about how you put this together. Drag it, drop it, boop. And then finally, the last one. Option key, drag it, and drop it. Boom. Okay, so that is generally how we get the photos into the grid. Now, the very last thing that we have to do before we can save it is we want to apply, we want to know what the aperture and the shutter speed of each of the images were so that we can write it on our final product. So if you go to File, File Info, this dialog box will show up and it will tell you your exposure. So this is at 1/20th of a second at f5.3. So you're going to remember that f5.3 at 1/20. You can go back to your document, you use the type tool. I'm going to type it in right here. So that was 1/20th of a second at f5.3. I'll space it out so I can see it a lot better. Now for me, I used a black font. So when you're on the text tool, you can change the font in 2 places, either up here at the top. You can double click on this square to pick out any color that you want. I would highly suggest either black or white because I'm writing on a light area. Black makes the most sense. If you're writing on a dark area, use white, or you can change it down here by double clicking this black square on the top and selecting a color to type with. If you have typed and then want to change your color after the fact, make sure that you highlight that color before trying to change it. And then again, you're just going to go through each picture, making sure that you go in order. So see, I just clicked on a picture up at the top and it was the wrong one. So I'm now moving to the second one. I'm going File, File Info. This is 1/10 seconds at f7.1. So I'm just going to go through, I'm going to type all of them out. And then I'm going to go File, Save As. And I'm going to do 2 things. First thing I'm going to do is save the Photoshop file. So we're always saving Photoshop files because if for some reason something went wrong and you have to go back and edit it, you can go back and edit it in the Photoshop file. And then you always save projects, last name, first name, and then the name of the project. So this is my depth, I'm going to call it DOF, depth of field project. And then I'm going to go into my Photo 1 folder, quarter 1, and then this is my project 2 DOF project folder, and I'm going to hit save. And then this dialog box is going to come up, just hit OK. Okay, so that way it keeps all of my layers intact. And then that way if I ever have to edit anything, I can edit it, go back, resave it as JPEG, no problem. So if let's pretend that I'm totally completely done, I can go File, Save As, and then that's where we go here to Format and we want to set it as a JPEG. There are 3 JPEG options. We only care about the first one. Okay, so you saw that when I changed it from a Photoshop to a JPEG file, that file extension automatically changes. If you try to type it out and do it yourself, there's no guarantee that the computer will recognize that file extension. So please make sure you always change it by going File, Save As. Don't try to retype it out yourself. Then you're going to hit Save, and then make sure that this little bar right here is pulled all the way to maximum. And then OK. And then that is it. You're going to upload the final file, the final JPEG to Google Classroom and turn it in. And that is how you do this project.